Chicken Little. Chicken Little lived on a winding country lane surrounded by tall oak trees. It should be mentioned here that the name Little was a female name and not a derogatory size-based nickname. It was only by sheer coincidence that Chicken Little was also of shorter than average height. One day, Chicken Little was playing in the road when a gust of wind blew through the trees, and a corn was blown loose and hit Chicken Little squarely on the head. Now, while Chicken Little had a small brain in the physical sense, she didn't use it to the best of her abilities, so when she screamed, "The sky is falling, the sky is falling," her conclusion wasn't wrong, or stupid, or silly, only logically and enhanced. Chicken Little ran down the road until she came to the house of her neighbor, Henny Penny, who was standing at her garden. This was a simple task since she didn't use any insecticides, herbicide, or fertilizer, and also permitted to the native non-edible varieties of white flour, sometimes branded weeds, to mingle with her food crops. So lost amid the foliage, Henny Penny heard Chicken Little's voice long before she saw her. "The sky is falling, the sky is falling." Henny Penny stuck her head out from her garden and said, "Chicken Little, why are you carrying on so?" Chicken Little said, "I was playing in the road when a huge chunk of the sky fell and landed on my head. See, here is the bomb to prove it." "There's just one thing to do," said Henny Penny. "What's that?" asked Chicken Little. "Sue the bastards," said Henny Penny. Chicken Little was puzzled. Sue for what? Personal injury, discrimination, intentional infliction of emotional distress, neglect of infliction of emotional distress, torturous interference, the thought of outrage, you named it, we will sue for it. "Good gracious," said Chicken Little. What will we get for all of that?" "We can get payment for pain and suffering, compensatory damages, punitive damage, disability and disfigurement, long-term care, mental anguish, impaired earning power, loss of esteem." Person," said Chicken Little joyfully. "Who are we going to sue?" "Well, I don't think the skiers recognized as a suable entity by the state," said Henpenny. "I guess we should go find a lawyer and learn who is suable," said Chicken Little, her diminutive brain working overtime. "That's a good idea, and while we are there, I can ask whom to sue for these ridiculously bony legs of mine. They've caused me nothing but anguish and embarrassment my whole life, and I should be compensated somehow for all that." So they ran farther down the road until they came to the house of their neighbor, Goosey Lucy. Goosey Lucy was busy teaching her canine animal companion to eat grass so she could avoid the guilty feeling that came with feeding the dog processed animal carcasses from a can. "The sky is falling," said. "The sky is falling. Sue the bastards, sue the bastards." Goosey Lucy leaned over her fence and said, "Land's sakes, why are you two carrying on so?" "I was playing in the road and a piece of sky fell on my head," explained Chicken Little. "So we are going to find a lawyer to tell us whom we can sue both for her injuries and for my bunny legs." "Oh my god, can I come and sue someone for my long gangly neck? Nothing really flatters it, so I'm convinced there is a conspiracy within the fashion industry against long neck waterfall." So the three of them ran down the road looking for legal assistance. "The sky is falling, the sky is falling. Sue the bastards, sue the bastards. Smash the conspiracy, smash the conspiracy." Farther down the road, they met Foxy Luxy, who was dressed in a blue suit and carried a briefcase. He held up a paw to hold the torch. And what are you three doing out this holiday? Asked Foxy Luxy. We are looking for someone to sue. They shouted in unison. What are your grievances? Personal injury, discrimination, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligent infliction of emotional distress, torturous interference, the threat of outrage. Ah, yes, yes, the three said excitedly. All that and more. Well done, you're in luck, said Foxoloxy. My caseload has just eased up, so I will be able to represent you in any and all lawsuits we can manage to bring. The trio cheered and flapped their wings. Chicken Little asked, but who are we going to sue? Without missing a beat, Fox Lux said, who aren't we going to sue? Three helpless victims such as yourselves will be able to find more guilty parties than you can shake a retret. Now let's all step into my office so we can discuss this further. Foxy Foxy walked over to a small black metal door that was the inside of a small hill nearby. Step right this way, he said as he lifted the latch. But the black door wouldn't open. Fox Luxy tugged in it with one paw, then with both. It wouldn't budge. He yanked and pulled violently, cursing the door, its mental abilities, and its sexual history. Finally, the door swung open, and a huge ball of fire shot out. This was really the door of Fox Luxy's oven, but unfortunately for him, the ball of fire engulfed his head, burned off every hair and whisker, and left him totally catatonic. Chicken Little, Henny Penny, and Goosey Lizzie ran away, thankful that they hadn't been devoured. However, the family of Fox Luxy caught up with them, in addition to suing the manufacturer of the oven door on behalf of Fox Luxy. The family brought suits against the three above named Barnyard Fall, claiming entrapment, reckless endangerment, and fraud. The family sought payment for pain and suffering, compensatory damage, punitive damage, disability and disfigurement, long-term care, mental anguish, impaired earning power, loss of esteem, and the loss of a good dinner. The three birds later brought a countersuit, and they've all been battling in court from that day to this.